Ladies and gentlemen, this is C Double from the All Wrestling Talk Nation in the headquarters of the wonderful facilities here at Casa de C Double. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Indy Superstar Spotlight with special guest, the one, the only Bolo from Mr. APW. Yep, there he goes, Mr. Clanging and Banging himself.
Right, clanging and banging.
Hey, I'll hook you up. Just give me a minute there, Mr. Bolo. Ladies and gentlemen, this man, you can contact him on some great sites here. He's on Facebook, Bolorulez. You want to check that fan page out. It's out there. And also, you can find him at Bolo on Facebook. Now, we're going to get some plugs out of the way. DCWM is coming to Milledgeville on March 22nd. I booked for May, so it kind of happens that way. So anyway, on March 22nd, DCWM will be at Milledgeville. Shamrocks the Headlocks. We will be having the cast out there. 4 o'clock, the doors open. 5 o'clock is the bell time. Definitely want to check it out. We're going to try to do the show. We're going to have a good time, shoot a message, get some autographs, check out some good wrestling. Don't want to miss it. Tomorrow night, we will have the Ashland Championship Wrestling Association joining us. The GMs, the bookers, they're going to be on the show. We're going to have kind of a, want to say not a round table, but it's just going to be a talk just, about them, find out who they are, what they're trying to do, and basically, one wrestling association helping another. All Wrestling Talk likes being able to give a shout-out to the indie scenes, so you definitely want to check that. Webs.com, for some reason, is having some issues, so the websites are the DCWM.webs.com is having some issues, and so is the All Wrestling Talk Nation.webs.com is also. So they will be updated as soon as we're able to log on. So please be patient with that. We are going to start the interview. Bolo, how's it going, man?
Hey, man, it's going good, going big. I'm over here in the gym, like you said, banging and clanging always. You never know when you might have to face somebody a lot bigger than me, so I got to be ready.
All right. Now, with me, as always, is my special co-host here, Brian Titus, who likes to,
Hello.
Yeah, we're asking him to stay in the chair, please. Not, the fans are kind of weary of the bed issue. So anyway.
It's the comfortable spot in the house.
Stop. Okay. All right. Bolo, first question as always. What brought you to wrestling just in general?
Well, I've always been, physically active. I've always, hit the gym. I've always been, big into sports, always really, really an aggressive type person. I was always really short, so I had to be really, really aggressive. And anybody that's watched me in the ring will tell you that's how I conduct business. My grandfather, he was a professional wrestler. Many people, a lot of the older generations has heard the name Gorgeous George. That was my grandfather, so the blood, runs deep inside of me. And, he wrestled for many, many years, made a very lucrative career out of wrestling. And, one day, professional wrestling basically saved my life. I was going through a dark time, a real deep depression. And I just kind of one day stumbled into the Anarchy training facility with Slim J. And he trained me, and he saw something really special in me, and I fell in love with it and been pounding ever since. So that's it.
Awesome. Well, go ahead and ask your next question there, Brian.
Well, how long you been in it? What's it been like since you got in it? And tell us a little more about, go behind the scenes a little bit. You always have these characters that come in and, either want to trainees, they want to get into it, but then they kind of just hold back a little bit instead of really getting into it. What would you say to them?
Well, fellas, I'm going to tell you something. Wrestling hurts. Okay? It's very fun. It's very, it's the biggest high of your life being in the ring in front of them fans and people booing or cheering, but it hurts. If you're not 100% committed, if you don't feel it down deep in your heart, there's no point in even trying to wrestle. But when I first started in wrestling, I was one of the bigger guys, wider, stronger. And so, they kind of threw me in over my head off Jump Street. I started doing all the main events, all the, table matches, all the, burning, flaming table matches, all the hardcore stuff. And I just fell in love with it, and I found out real quick, either one, something's wrong with my brain, or I can take a lot of pain, a lot of abuse. And I fell in love with it. But I started about 2 years ago, and It's been a great road ever since. You know, I've had boos, I've had cheers, I've had fans take swings at me outside, you know, in the parking lot, which, you know, all that comes with the territory of the business. I love every second of it. My kids love coming to watch me, and, you know, it's been a great ride so far. So I'm really, really excited to be doing it. Something I love.
Yep. All right, let me go ahead and ask the question here. You know, we'll get back to some of the other ones too. Big time thing is, if I've never seen Bolo live, and you talked about the aggression, you talked about the fury, but let's go behind the scenes and so people can understand. There's a term Bolo means, and you know, I want people to know this is not a gimmick. You're really a police officer, am I correct?
Hey, that's right, man. They could arrest me for intent or portraying a police officer if not. But yeah, I'm really a police officer in real life.
Yeah.
You know, I get paid to keep bad guys off the street. I consider myself a standard issue street soldier, serving hot plates of justice with a side of cold jail from time to time. You know, I really, really enjoy being a police officer. If somebody is hyper and excited as me, I don't know why they'd ever give me a gun, but they did, and you know, it's fun. So, but the term Bolo is a police term that comes from be on the lookout, B-O-L-O. Be on the lookout. So, hey, be on the lookout for me.
See, that's what I wanted people to know about. Now, you know, we talked about the issues of what was the biggest challenge? I know that's kind of the question Brian was asking. Don't mean to bring the government name, but anyway, you know, what is was your biggest challenge? Training. What was it like? Yeah.
My biggest challenge when stepping in the ring. I genuinely love kids. I love fans. I love people that want autographs and pictures. But, you know, when I step into the ring, I had to portray a bad guy because my character is a heel. And, you know, I play it very well. And, you know, and then after the show, you know, a lot of times kids will want to come up and get autographs and pictures. And even though I want to, you know, sign autographs and do pictures, you know, because I'm a heel, and anybody that understands the wrestling business will tell you, you know, you got to stay in character from the time you get at the arena, from the time you leave and get on down the road. And to me, that's just hard, you know, walking by a kid that's just screaming, that's been waiting out there in the cold to get a picture, to get a hug or whatever. And, you know, because my character says, hey, you know, you got to keep rocking because they got to hate you. That's really hard on me. But to me, that's probably the hardest thing. So.
Yeah. Go ahead and ask your question now.
Well, you know, I know I've been around with you a little bit, and you know, running up and down the roads. We've been doing some few things. You know, Disciples of Christ. Explain to me what you think about Disciples of Christ and how different it is, besides some of the other shows you've been with. Because you know, you got that. We've gotten to know you with Disciples of Christ, and so tell the fans a little bit more about what you've been able to do with Disciples of Christ, where a lot of times you wouldn't have been able to do it with the other wrestler organizations.
Right. Well, I'm never going to knock another wrestling organizations. I've been to many. I've traveled everywhere from, you know, mid-United States down to the South United States. I've been all over wrestling. Various shows, they don't have the same morals, so to speak. You know, some of the guys in the back, they're kind of raunchy characters. And at times, you know, I am too. But, you know, working for DCWM, you know, it's a Christian atmosphere. I have very, very strong Christian roots, you know, raised in a Baptist church. You know, working there, you know that when you get there, you're going to be around a group of guys that, you know, genuinely love the Lord. You know, they're trying to spread a message. They're trying to reach the fans that otherwise wouldn't take the time to go to church. They wouldn't take the time to go hear a message. And if we can put our bodies through pain and bruises and bumps and concussions like the little fella I accidentally knocked out the other night at Milledgeville. Sorry, dude.
Your son.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, man. Sorry, brother. I hope you feel better. But, you know, if we can put our bodies through that to get the Word of God out there and the Word of Jesus out there, hey, it's worth it to me. If it causes me to break my neck or my back for the organization, I'll do it any day if it means that 10 people are going to go out and tell 10 people, and they're going to tell 10 people, and they're going to tell 10 people what we're doing. So, you know, honestly, I would recommend if you want a great family entertainment, you want great family fun, that you're not going to have to worry about a bunch of cussing and women getting undressed and, you know, people encouraging all kinds of illegal activity. DCWM, wherever we travel, it is a tremendous, tremendous, event to come watch. The guys are incredible. So I highly recommend it to any wrestling fan out there.
I want you to let's kind of rewind a little bit. You were talking about, because see, we're not asking about. See, with all wrestling talk, I don't like bad mouthing other corporations or businesses. It's all about wrestling. It's about the indie scene getting a voice. What is it like being involved in the different ones? Like, I know you're involved with quite a few different places in Georgia alone. I know there's some others. What is it like being able to bounce between one spot to another? How does it? Do you feel like you're living a dream when you're in those businesses?
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, when I walk into the arena, there's this feeling. Every chill bump on your body stands up. Every hair on your body stands up. I mean, there's so much excitement. I love working with the guys. A lot of the guys travel to different facilities together. It's absolutely unbelievable. Like I said, I don't know why anybody go out there and do drugs or get drunk or something like that. Because the greatest high in the world stepping out there in that ring and picking a 300-pound guy and slamming his back through the mat. So, but I do. I love it. And as long as the Lord will let me, as long as my body will hold out, I'm gonna keep doing this until I breathe my last breath. So.
Yep.
Did that answer your question?
Hey, there's nothing wrong with it. You're doing a great job there, Bolo. Real quick, DCWM is a big-time sponsor, but also want to give a big shout-out to Big Dogs Lawn Care, also in Winder, and also over in Casey's, too. Alan or Brian, would you like to go ahead and ask the next question there, friend?
Bolo,
yes, sir.
You have a lot of young guys that come into the business. What do you say to them that, we were all taught pay your dues to companies.
Right.
What do you say to them about having to pay the dues?
Well, when I first started out, I'm gonna tell you something. I was sweeping floors. I was picking up chairs, picking up people's trash. If another seasoned vet comes up to me and says, "Hey, I need you to go get me a drink," guess what? You got to go get a drink. I mean, it's just part of it. I always come into if anybody that's interested in the wrestling business, come in very humble. Come in very, not with a chip on your shoulder, not with an attitude until you start performing. Once you start performing, then you can be like Bolo and have the attitude. But, just come in and just be really, really humble, very respectful. When we walk to the back in the locker room, first thing we do is greet everybody with a handshake. Hey, how you doing? It's good to see you. That shows a sign of humbleness. And that's what they're looking for in the indie circuit. Nobody with better than now attitudes. And but it's really, really exciting. All the men I work with, don't let the fact that they might come out and breathe fire and bleed all down their body and stuff. A lot of these guys are very, very humble, very, very respectful, very, very hard workers, and it's just an incredible atmosphere.
Yep. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the guys you've worked there, Bolo. And I'm not going to say throw names or throw anyone on the bus, but who's been the one person that comes to mind, like your favorite? Maybe a match that, and I know you're, fairly young in the business, but what was your favorite match you've had with a certain guy? Maybe it was a group. It could be anywhere. I mean, what was something that you enjoyed that you were saying to yourself, this is why I'm wrestling?
Right. Well, I gotta speak for three people in general. Of course, Slim J. I've never worked with him, but he's trained me. Incredible athlete. I've never seen nobody on WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, Global Force that's better than Slim J. I just got to say that. He is an incredible athlete. CB Suave, worked with him. I was when I first come on the scene, I was his bodyguard, his hired hit, paid muscle. He kind of took me up under his wing and, he kind of helped me along the way. But the one person I can think of that I owe so much to, and, it's Strychnine. Anybody that's ever watched Strychnine perform, he's an absolutely incredible guy. He comes out and he blows the fire and he's all gothed out and he's big and he's nasty and he's mean. And one thing I really like about him, me and his styles are exactly the same. I'm very aggressive in the ring. He's very aggressive in the ring. We put it on each other. And, we might have concussions and knock each other out in the ring, but when we get to the back, it's a different story. It's back to business. But Strychnine, he's probably been my favorite opponent. He's just an incredible athlete, incredible veteran. I'm really, really proud to have worked a lot of matches with him. A lot of matches with him.
Well,
Ron?
so now I'm trying to think of a good one that hadn't really asked. You got one, and
Yeah, no, that's fine. No, that's fine. Talk about, we talk about your persona, the aggression. Well, let's also now talk about the inspirations. Mm-hmm. In wrestling, we all at some point were wrestling fans. Mm-hmm. And there were some guys, I know you said your grandfather, was he, an inspiration for you, obviously, but were there any other wrestlers, like were there Dusty Rhodes, Arn Anderson, were there guys in that era that you kind of patterned the style of Bolo after?
Yeah, actually there was. I love the style of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Probably one of my all-time favorites. He's really aggressive in the ring. Really, really. He had that I don't care attitude. Terry Funk, Mick Foley. These guys have just put their body out there and said, hey, I'm gonna give you everything I got. I might have to crawl to the back, but I'm gonna give you everything I got. These are the guys that I tried to model my character after, between the Goldbergs and the Stone Colds and Rybacks. People like that, they're not tremendously large guys, height-wise. And I'm not tall height-wise. I got size, thickness, muscle-wise. But, I use every bit I got. I come out to the ring. I don't care if you're 10 foot tall. I don't care if you're 4 foot tall. When you get in the ring with me, you're going to know real quick, hey, I'm about business. I'm either going to hurt you or you're going to hurt me. But either way, the aggression is going to be there. The intensity is going to be there. The rage is going to be there. It's just kind of who I am inside. Right now, I'm calm, but, in just a second, I can snap and just go into that rage mode, Bolo mode. Who needs beast mode when you got Bolo mode, right?
Hey, that's pretty cool mode, man. I might have to mix something into that. So, go ahead.
Where do you... Another question, I know C-Double asked it sooner or later. I'm just going to go ahead and ask it now. Where do you see yourself in 5 years or so?
In 5 years from now, absolutely. I feel like, because of my style, the way, I'm really good with people, and, I can get you to hate me, I can get you to love me. Honestly, I can see Dixie Carter, maybe giving me a phone call saying, hey, I'd like you to come out here and, let somebody slam you back out, or Ring of Honor, Global Force, AJ Styles. Good friends with AJ. He's a great Christian man. I talk to him all the time. I talk to quite a few people that's been in the show on a weekend basis. And everyone I've talked to has told me, said, hey, even though you're young and you're still learning, you've really got something that most other guys don't. And, I don't really know what it is. Apparently they see it, but right now, I'm just having so much fun. I could care less if I make $1 million, if I make 50 cents doing this. I do it because I love it, and I'm gonna keep doing it until I can. So,
all right, $1 million question time. Then in that, actually, I got a couple of guys will ask me questions as we're doing the show, and basically, he wanted to ask you was your dream match. You could pick anybody in any era. Who would you want in that dream match? Bolo versus whoever. You name the opponent.
Ooh, this is a good one. Let's see. Bolo versus. I say dream match of all matches. I'd have to say, oh man, I tell you what. I'd probably have to go with Terry Funk in his prime. Terry Funk was incredible. He brought the pain. He was very, very aggressive. I mean, I got to go with Terry Funk. Terry Funk is just, I'm sorry, he's the man. That guy, even now, he could hurt somebody. So, probably Terry Funk, guaranteed.
Don't saddlebag him. Don't you saddlebag him. Go ahead.
Oh, Lord. I agree with you there. Terry would be a beautiful match to have.
We clear the chairs out, but I'd hope that the fans would get a little bit further back from the ring. So
yeah. So you said Dixie Carter.
Mm-hmm.
If you had a chance to wrestle anywhere in the world, I mean, worldwide,
Yeah.
where would you possibly want to be?
You know, Japan, TNA, Ring of Honor, WWE. You don't have to worry about the money.
What's your ground?
You don't have to worry about the money. Are you saying the money's not an option or anything like that?
Yeah, the money is not an option. It's equal. So basically, you've got the choice, you know, to just go where you want to go. Where would it be?
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. You know, WWE's got job security. They got a lot of really high paid, performers. But I'm gonna tell you something, man. You know, I love watching. I love watching. Impact Wrestling and Ring of Honor. Them guys are true athletes. They know what they're doing. They're not big guys either. Some of them are, but I mean, these little guys have so much, charisma, so much talent that. I love to work with that. And sometimes, and don't get me wrong, I'm a huge WWE fan, but WWE gets a little too deep in the men's soap opera. So I like to see a little blood every now and then. You still there? Hey, if you still there, I can't hear you. Where you at? If everybody can see me, because I can't see. Hold up, let's see what we got. Oh, good, it wasn't my computer.
Just talk. If not, just when you are back on this line.
There we go. I'm back. Y'all caught me.
I told you. I told you. We just had to pay the bills. That's it. So.
Y'all was paid a bill.
You know what I got to. Brian Titus, stiffed the guy last week. So that's what happens. All right. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get back. You were talking about how the E and the difference between the E and the TNA for you, or Impact Wrestling. So you would rather wrestle in TNA, even though the WWE has the security, and you were talking about the young guy, they're smaller, but they just bring more of a fight. Anything else where you elaborating before we got cut off?
No, just like I said, WWE, they, a lot of their entertainers, they get high dollar for their time and their work. But, TNA, I'm just a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of these guys, Impact Wrestling. These guys, what they bring to the table. I know they don't get as much recognition as somewhere else, but, they're incredible athletes. Look at AJ Styles, one of the most phenomenal wrestlers. And he led that company for many, many years. And he's an incredible guy.
You got a question there, Brian?
I thought that was my question.
Okay, it was your question. It happens, all right? All right. Now, this is what I want to ask you. I've seen a few of your matches, Bolo. You have like you said, smash mouth, hardcore, aggressive side and everything. Seen, a taser match when we first saw you. At APW, by the way, and the good folks of Royston. What I wanted to ask you, when you were coming up, because see, you also, like you were telling us, you're a cop. So was your training? Did you adapt your training, some of the stuff you learned with them, and were there moves of certain wrestlers you wanted to just, no matter what, when you got in the ring, you wanted to do the moves these guys did?
All the bigger guys. I wanted to do the ground and pound. I wanted to do all the power, like Ryback and the Ultimate Warrior back in his prime. These guys did real powerful moves that people just when they saw it, they was like, oh my God, did you see that? And that's kind of, the style I wanted. I was constantly told during training I needed to, calm down. My aggressive level was through the roof, and, my trainer was constantly saying, hey, easy, you're going to hurt somebody, but, hey, man,
They don't make them like they used to. Look at that. Look at that smile. I told you. Go ahead.
Well, I can understand. I can understand your aggressiveness and all that stuff, and how you bring it in and all that. And I can understand your trainer. A lot of guys. You got some guys that come in that way, but wuss out real quick. But then you got guys that come in that way and stay that way. And it's good to see when a guy comes in that way, he stays that way, because it means that he wants it. Because a lot of these guys will come in, I'm big and bad, and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do it. And after the first night, they're going, I can't do this.
Right.
So
you see what happens every time you talk about wrestling. It makes my heart beat out my chest. You know what I'm saying?
I can't do that. Stop that.
Hold on. Last time he did it, he almost had a heart attack.
Mine does that. My heart jumps out of my chest, and I have to put it back in. So stop.
I'm saying you got to take them nitrogen tablets.
I have that too. It's called a bad nerve. All right. What you have been in some particular matches. You kind of mentioned it. You've been through tables. You've had hardcore matches.
Right.
The match I won't forget is the Taser match. But I'm not saying you guys have to talk about every little thing, but the things you must be thinking to yourself when you're making that drive and you head to inside that building and they say, "Hey, Bolo, you're going through a table tonight." What's that like?
What do I think whenever they tell me, "Hey, Bolo, you're going through a table"?
What's the thought process? Because it's not really there, right? Sometimes for a guy.
You really want to know the truth? What I think?
Yeah, no, go ahead, man. I mean, bring it. I don't mind.
Whenever they tell me I'm gonna do something really hardcore or really fun, my first thought is, oh man, the fans are absolutely gonna love it. That's the first thing I think. The second thing is, I think to myself is I'm like, oh man, I tell you what, I hope my body makes it through it. The third thing I think is I am so gonna get a date tonight after the show. So, that's what I think.
You guys are so much alike. It's not even funny. And you say you don't want hardcore matches. I tell you what.
I'm not too old for those.
Yeah, well, you put the young guys in.
That's what I'm doing.
You're walking. It's time to do hardcore stuff. Me and you, hardcore stuff.
The only hardcore match he's going to be is on a video game.
Yeah. You got WWE 15? We'll go at it. Hardcore and everything. Chairs, tables, ladders. We'll bring the kitchen sink out if we can figure out where it's at.
What are you talking about? You ask someone else to get it for you. Anyway, so now here's what I want to go to. We talked about where you would want to work, what kind of areas you like. The travel, and also being a cop. People have always said, there's the dangers of living a cop life. Well, there's a danger to being in the ring.
Hey, there's a danger just.
And I'm not asking you to pick. Yeah, I'm still here. All right. My question to you is this, Bolo. What, do you ever, because you said you have kids and everything, do you have to worry about the fact that, are my kids going to get scared? I need to make sure someone. How's that weigh on you when you're going in and getting ready for a show?
I explain to my kids, hey, this is what Daddy does. This is what Daddy loves. They're pretty intelligent kids, believe it or not, for one to be 7 and one to be 5. And I explained to them. I said, hey, Daddy's gonna be okay. But at the end of the night, I'm gonna make it home to you. Matter of fact, the first show they ever saw me performing, I was so excited, and I ended up getting knocked out in the ring, and it was legit. It was a legit knockout. So I lost consciousness in the ring, and I made it to the back after the match was over with. And they come up to me, Daddy, are you okay? And I said, yeah, absolutely. Daddy's fine, because I see how many fans I made happy by the show. Now I had words for the guy that knocked me out, of course, but it was still fun.
That usually happens, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
All right. let's talk about
usually a few choice words in that.
Yeah, usually, and they all start with the letter F.
Yeah.
But all right,
Bolo mode.
Bolo mode goes into another mode. All right, let's talk about something that was kind of fun. Last month's show, February 22nd, if I'm not mistaken, you got to work with DCWM, but you got to do something that a lot of guys don't get to do. And I'm not saying being in a match, but you got to wrestle in front of your home crowd.
Absolutely.
And I don't know how many times that gets to happen. I mean, I know guys get to wrestle in their home states and stuff a lot, but to be in that home crowd, after you tour a lot, you go around and you're not able to be there. How does that feel versus, you being able to go to your backyard all the time and wrestle?
But it was absolutely incredible. It really was. A lot of my parents have never seen me wrestle. My mom, she watched too many wrestling matches growing up with her dad. And, wasn't real happy about the lifestyle I chose. But, to see my mom and dad come to the show, the energy level was through the roof. I was so jacked. I was excited. And then to get to see people that, remember me when I was, 5'10", 140 pounds, soaking wet with rocks and weights in my pocket, in high school, to seeing me 235 pounds of, rage in the ring, it's absolutely unbelievable. A lot of people don't recognize me anymore. I've done changed so much, but I'm gonna tell you something, man. I absolutely love, where I came from. I love my hometown. I love the people in it. They're great, great people. It don't matter if I make it from, if I stay where I'm at, or if I make it to the absolute top. Whenever I walk out there, I'm always gonna say from Cotton, Georgia. It don't matter where I live or where I buy a house. Cotton, Georgia is my home, born and raised. And, that's just who I am.
Good.
Well, we're heading back down there this weekend. No, you can't make it. We know the job's, got you busy and everything. But hopefully we can get you back down there soon again so you can see the family again and have a good time down there with the family. I know you're working at APW, Anarchy, a few other shows here and there. Where all have you been besides just those organizations?
I've been with APW. I've been with PCW. I've been with Southern Fried. DCWM, Anarchy. There's so many different shows I've been invited to. It seems like every week my phone's getting burned up with people asking me to come. This location, that location, perform. Kind of bring Bolo out. A lot of times I can make it. A lot of times I can't. I'm gonna start doing better about doing the longer distance traveling because like I said, I've heard that a lot of people want to see me perform, and and I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of people and working with a lot of people. So I've really worked in a lot of different places, and honestly, I can't remember some of the names of them.
Well, that happens when you're up and down the road all the time. So
they all start merging together.
Yeah.
Well, just know if you need a reference point, I can always shoot you a few people that keep shooting me messages. Also want to just say, what is it about, let's get a little hot and a little just fun moments here because, you're in wrestling. Talk about, like, just some crazy moments, either it be in your work situation or, on the way to the shows, and just something happens and you're going, what the heck? Basically, on the road travels. What is it? You can tell. I don't care. Have fun with it.
I'm gonna try to PG it. Bless it. I ain't gonna mention this wrestler's name because he's incredible. But we're in the back and before our shows, and we do a family prayer to make sure everybody's safe and okay. And every time we put our hands in to say the prayer, he grabs my butt, and every time he's got his hands on my rear end, all I keep thinking of is, man, I hope the prayer just, is a lot quicker than what it is. And it seems like the more he grabs my rear end or tries to molest me, the longer the prayers get. I wish we could just say, Lord, keep us safe, and then I'd keep it. But in his defense, though, he's a great guy. He's just doing it to cut up, just doing it to lighten the mood and play. I reckon because he thinks I'm so aggressive and so amped up in the back that, it's a way to make me laugh or calm me down or whatever, but I prefer him just keep his hands off my butt.
Hold on. You need to stop it. I've told you about that. Someone's going to get you.
It wasn't me.
Yeah.
Damn,
Damn window. Anyway, I got someone that contacted me, and they said this. They have heard you outside the ring before doing just like a promo where you kind of channel a certain legend who wore polka dots. But I want you to kind of, because we always hear about Bolo the heel, Man, right now, give me about a 30, maybe about a 2, up to 2 minute. I'll give me a promo of you playing face. Just shoot me something where you just do a face. I mean, you could be whoever you want. You could be that Bolo. Go for it. I just want, they're asking, so I want
Caucasian Sensation, ain't you? You're talking about the Caucasian Sensation, who was originally going to be the wrestling name before it was Bolo, but I'll give you what you need right here. It's the Caucasian Sensation, the risk taker, the heartbreaker, the rib rocker, the showstopper, the tower of power, too sweet to be sour, the trailblazing, hell raising, body seizing, girl pleasing, take your foot off the brake, stomp the gas. I'm always ready to whoop you. I'm that Rocky Honky, the raging Cajun, the Caucasian Sensation sent here to rule the DCWM nation.
I think he needs to be faced, bro. and just so you know, that was 2 cents worth of patty tank there. Shout out to you, little fella. All right, Rockstar Tank. Giving that little question out there. Now, I had to ask because a lot of guys do ask about that. Something else that they ask like, what would you not do? But I'm more of this in the business. What drives you? What is it that just when you're just feeling like you're not able to get up, but you just get up anyway? I mean, the passion, the love I know of the ring is there. But what else drives you? What's that force that just gets you into that Bolo mode that makes you bang those weights at 10, 11 o'clock at night?
That's easy. The reason I say that's easy is because I always keep it on my mind and my heart. I grew up, like I said, in a small town. Nobody ever goes anywhere from the small town I'm from. Nobody goes off to college and plays ball or anything like that. So I was given a lot of great opportunities. In high school, I was short, skinny, and I was overlooked a lot, by athletes that were bigger and stronger and had bigger muscles and more money and whatever. And, these athletes that, I grew up with, because I grew up down in Johnson County, which is football territory, they always said, hey, you too small. You just go over there and stand. You too small. You whatever the case may be. And it lit a fire inside of me. It lit a fire inside my body. I'm like, hey, you know what? I'll show you. I'm small. All right. And so that's when I get into the ring. I always think about it. I always think about how many people told me I couldn't do something. Whether it was I couldn't bench 450 pounds, which I did. You can't go play college baseball, which I've started for 4 years. You can't play professional football, which is the minor leagues, and I did for 3 years. You can't be a professional wrestler, and I'm here to tell you, you tell me I can't do it, and all I'm going to do is put rage and fire in my heart, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to blow your mind, and I'm going to video it, and I'm going to send it to you. That way you have a reminder that if you tell me I'm not going to do something, I'm going to do it times 10. There we go.
Don't tell them, Cam. I mean, and don't tell them get the F out of your room. All right. What's your question you want to ask?
All right.
Cut me that up.
I don't even know where you're coming from on that. All right. Being that way, I mean, we've all, a few of us heard that. I grew up. I'm 6'1" now, 250. I was that way. It was, that way in school. I was 145 pounds, 5'11". I got told the same thing, but like that, you get that aggressiveness, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna show that coach I can do this no matter what he says. So I agree with you there. I mean, some people say they can't, to them, coaches that talk down to them don't motivate them.
Right.
You took it like I took it. They motivated us. They pushed us, because the more they kept telling us we couldn't do it, the more we put our heart into it to show them that we could do it.
Absolutely.
So, being that way, gotten into the business, with doing all this, Bolo is a character that you've developed between being a cop, a wrestler. What else? What else has you developed with the Bolo character that most people don't have? That sets you different from a lot of them?
The X Factor.
Yeah.
Why would I consider myself different than any other wrestler? Honestly, there's a lot of wrestlers that don't want to do things. They don't want to go through tables that are on fire. They don't want to take a chair across the back or in the forehead. They don't want to hit a rail with, blunt force. They don't want, to run into barbed wire or get tack stuck in their skin. I do because I love it. I love it because, I got, fans out there that are watching going, oh my goodness, that's incredible. And, that's what sets me aside. There is nothing in the ring that I won't do, just side of, committing a murder. And I might have to do that by mistake. But if I kill anybody in the ring, I am aggressive, and I'm very sorry. I'm going to go ahead and apologize. But, hope you don't die if you face me. I'm just saying.
All right. Well, we're getting close to the show and everything, and I just want to thank you again for your time and everything. Yeah, I know. My question, I got a question for you in this regard. Something that about Bolo we may not know. What is something that's just maybe a passion of yours? A lot of guys want to unwind. They'll try to, they'll play music. They'll play video games, something. What is something for Bolo? What does Bolo do that probably would throw some folks off but have a little fun, but yet it's your thing? What is it that you like to do?
Oh, man. Something that I like to do that most people wouldn't know that I like to do. Honestly, I don't know where this whole, I like making T-shirts. I don't know why. Like, I like to print shirts and put words on shirts, and I don't know where that came from. I feel like, Martha Stewart or something like that. I don't know. It's just like one day I woke up and decided, hey, I want to start, printing shirts, and there it is right there. I don't know. It's weird.
Might need to talk to you.
Yeah.
Get the official C double shirt. But anyway, and get the official Bolo mode. I can see it now. All right. Now here's some questions that I've just kind of thought up as we speak. Do you have something? No. All right. What is it like, getting in that locker? There are times when think of it yourself when you first started, and now if you saw yourself back then, would there be anything you would say to kind of prepare yourself for? What would you say?
If I could look back at myself in the way I was, I would say take my time, listen to the veterans. I get so amped up in the ring, it's hard to listen, and it's hard to feel my opponent. All I think about is, I really would just tell myself to calm down, to relax, and don't hurt nobody. I've come to some incidents where I've accidentally hurt people in the ring, and I would just tell myself, hey, this is entertainment. This is, meant to entertain, and just try not to cause injuries. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
You know that one.
Yeah, I know that one pretty well. So. I have to slow down too. So.
Stop throwing them small guys around.
All right. How long we got here?
We got about
a few more minutes. We're gonna let you wind it down for us. We're gonna let you talk about yourself for a few minutes and let everybody know about Bolo.
Okay. Well, I told y'all a little bit about me just a few minutes ago. I grew up in a small town, Kite, Georgia. I played sports all through high school. Went off and played college baseball for 4 years. 1 year minor league ball. Ended up going and playing 3 years of minor league football. Been in law enforcement since '07. Loved it. I'm really good at it, especially when them bad guys get mouthy, because then Bolo mode comes in. And, maybe that's why I need to learn to slow down in the ring, because I'm kind of full throttle when it comes to bad guys. But I love it. I love this, I love this atmosphere. I love wrestling. There's nothing about it I don't love. I got 2 beautiful kids at home. One of them, he don't listen very good, and the other one, she's kind of my little brainiac. And I mean, I just love life, and I'm a Christian. I want to make sure I throw that out there. I want people to understand. Hey, you know, if you saw me in the ring, you might think, hey, this guy's nuts. But and I might be, but I love the Lord, and the Lord loves me, and you know, I'm just really proud of my roots, my family, and where I came from, and I'm really proud of these guys that, you know, I've met through various organizations, and I just hope that the Lord will continue to keep my body strong and continue to allow me to do what I love and entertain people. So that's it.
Well, before we sign off, I want to go ahead. Bolo, normally I ask people how to find your booking information, but since I actually know your booking information, I'm going to just throw it out there. You got to find this guy. He's on Bo Space Low. So, hey, Bolo. It ain't that hard to find him on Facebook. Also, go to Bolo Rules. That's his fan page for all you fans out there, the Bolo Nation. Check him out. Bolo Mode. He'll start putting a lot more stuff out there for it. Also, go on. You can find him on YouTube under Bolo Rules. And also, his email is bolorules@gmail.com. Get this guy a call, shoot him a message, and just remember, if you book him through me, you got to give me a little something too after that also. Anyway, but man, look, I appreciate you big time, brother, for coming in. We know we can't wait to work with you again. Got some big plans working for you. We're looking forward to it, brother, and we're glad that you're in the fight. You stay there doing your stuff. You know, we're praying for your safety every day, every night you're out there working the beat. My grandfather was a cop, so I have much respect for the police force and what y'all do. So you just do your thing, stay safe. The angels are protecting you anyway, so just know that. And you know, you stay Bolo, and you just try not to break so many guys, especially his son. He whines too much.
Oh, was that his son? Was that his son that got hurt?
One of them, one of the two.
Oh man! Oh.
And not only that, he's got a future son-in-law. So that's another story.
Wow! So what? I owe you, Brian. That's right. I owe you. My bad. Oh man.
He said you owe him. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry. He's got a couple of kicks for you. That's all he's told me. Where? I don't know.
Bring it. Bring it.
Yeah. Well, look, Bolo, once again, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. We're going to put this out there online on YouTube. You'll also be able to find him, like I said, Bolo Rules. You want to check him out. Guys, you know, these are guys we try to give the voice to. Indie wrestling, you know, we desire, you know, guys don't really get a chance to speak their minds. These guys go in. You just heard Bolo. He's not able to interact with fans at some shows. He's able to work. He has to go home, and it's like he doesn't get that moment. So you got to remember, even though it's a show, these guys have that feeling in their heart. They want to make sure it's the best show possible. You know, every guy in there that wants to do that, even this one. So just know that you want to go get some information, go to Disciples of Christ Wrestling Ministries. These guys are a great big force here in Georgia. Winder, and I got to say, Brian Titus, the crew over there do a top-notch job and giving some good matches. We try to come up with some good stuff out there. You want to check it, Wrestling with the Message. Be there on March 22nd. Also on April 4th, just want to give you a little shout out on DCWM Championship Rising. It is going to be some big time matches. We're going to have an Iron Man match in the start off match. We're going to have a loser leaves town match, and we're going to have the World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Bolo has been grateful. We appreciate you, brother. You now have his contact information. You know about DCWM. Tomorrow night, ACE Wrestling, the bosses, the GMs, and their bookers are going to be on. I believe the boss, Angel Dixie, and Mixel or Mystic Anna Rose. I know that's crazy, but I was able to remember it, so that's a good thing on me. So I'm C-Double. I may be out my mind, but guess what? Who else isn't? It's Indie Wrestling. But guys, All Wrestling Talk Nation presents Indie Superstar Spotlight with Bolo. Thank you for watching. I'm C-Double. That's Brian Titus. We're out.